Good morning, students. So, in our previous class, I have explained you about the pulse width modulation and generation and demodulation of a pulse width modulation, right? So, in today's class, we will see about the pulse position modulation, how we can generate a pulse position modulated signal and demodulation of a PPM signal. Just a second. So, already we studied about all this. So here we go. So now I will explain you about the pulse position modulation. As already I said about the definition. So in ppm, the position of a pulse relative to its unmodulated time occurrence is varied in accordance with the message signal. So the position will be varies with respect to the message signal. In PWM, the width will be varies in amplitude. In PAM, pulse amplitude modulation, the amplitude will be varies. If you observe the waveforms here, the first waveform represents the modulating signal and the second waveform represents the PWM pulses. So here we are getting the PPM signal from the PWM signal. So first wave represents the message signal and the second wave represents the PWM pulses, and finally third waveform represents the PPM pulses, which are obtained from the PWM pulses. And if you observe the third waveform, the positions are varying. So that is about the PPM signals. Now we will see how a PPM signal will be generated. So here we will first generate a PWM signal, and then that PWM signal is given to the monostable multivibrator. So as I said in previous class, the PWM signal can be generated by using a comparator. So here we have a comparator. So we are giving the message signal as an input to the comparator to the non-inverting terminal, and we are giving a sawtooth signal to the inverting terminal. So inverting terminal means minus, which is a negative polarity. Non-inverting terminal means a plus, which is a positive polarity. So we are giving the two signals to the comparator, and at the output side of the comparator we will get a PWM signal, which is a pulse width modulated signal. So by sending that PWM signal to the monostable multivibrator, at the output side of the monostable multivibrator we will get a PPM signal. Hence, corresponding to the each trailing edge of a PWM signal, the monostable output goes high. So it remains high for a fixed time decided by its own RC components. Thus, as the trailing edges of the PWM signal keep shifting in proportion with the modulating signal x of t, the PPM pulses also keep shifting as shown in the figure. So if you observe the figure here, first waveform represents the message signal x of t, which is a sinusoidal signal, as well as a sawtooth waveform. So first waveform represents the message signal as well as a sawtooth waveform. If you observe the second waveform, there we are getting a PWM output. So which is corresponding to the first waveform, we are getting the pulse width modulated output. And at the third waveform, we are getting a pulse position modulated output form. So here the trailing edges of the PWM signal keep shifting the in proportion with the modulating signal x of t. So thus the PPM pulses also keep shifting. So if you observe the third waveform, the position will be keep on shifting. Now we will see the demodulation of a PPM, how demodulation takes place in pulse position modulation. So here we are using SR flip-flop also. So first we are giving a ppm pulses to the pulse generator as well as to the reference pulse generator. And then the output of a pulse generator and reference pulse generator is given to the SR flip-flop. And at the output side of the flip-flop is connected to the PWM demodulator. And finally, we will get a modulating signal. So it is here we are using a SR flip-flop here. So now we will see the operation of a demodulation. So the noise corrupted ppm waveform is received by the ppm demodulated circuit. The pulse generator, so here you can observe the pulse generator here. The pulse generator develops a pulsed waveform at its output of a fixed duration, and that is applied to these pulses to the rest pin or of a SR flip-flop. As I said, now the output of a pulse generator is given to the pin R of a flip-flop. And a fixed period reference pulse is generated from the incoming ppm waveform, and the SR flip-flop is set by the reference pulses. Due to the set and reset signals applied to the flip-flop, we get a PWM signal at its output. The PWM signal can be demodulated using a PWM demodulator. So that is the simple operation of a demodulation of a ppm. Now we will see the ppm advantages and disadvantages of a ppm. So it is not a disadvantage of PWM. These are the disadvantages of ppm. Now we will see the advantages first. So like PWM in ppm, amplitude is held constant. Thus we are having a less noise interference. Signal noise separation is also very easy, and because of a constant pulse width and amplitude, transmission power for each pulse is same. So these are the advantages of a pulse position modulation. Now we will see the disadvantages of a pulse position modulation. So that is not PWM here. Synchronization between transmitter and receiver is required. So that is one disadvantage of a ppm. And second one is a large bandwidth is required for the ppm as compared to the PAM. So we require a large bandwidth and also synchronization required. So these are the two disadvantages of a ppm. Now we just see the comparison of a pulse amplitude modulation, pulse width modulation, and pulse position modulation. So first one is a parameter, second are the PAM, PWM, and ppm. So as I said now in PAM, which varies? Amplitude varies. So first parameter is a variable parameter of a pulsed carrier. So we know that in PAM, amplitude varies, in PWM, width varies, in ppm, position varies. And coming to the second parameter, bandwidth requirement. So in PAM only, that is low. We require a low bandwidth, whereas in PWM and ppm, we require a high bandwidth. And coming to the third one, which is a transmitted power. So in PAM, the transmitted power varies with the amplitudes of a pulses, whereas in PWM, it also varies with the variations in the width. But coming to the ppm, the transmitted power is a constant. Now only I said that. And coming to the fourth parameter, which is a noise immunity. So noise immunity is very less in PAM, and it is very, noise immunity is very high in PWM as well as in ppm also. And coming to the fifth one, which is the information contained in. So in PAM, it is in form of variation. In PWM, it is in the form of width variations, and ppm, it is in position variation. So last output waveforms. So if you observe the output waveforms here, so in the first one, PAM, the amplitude only changes. If you observe the pulses here, the each pulse is having a different amplitude. If you observe the second PWM waveform, the width is different for the different pulses. So all the pulses are having a different width. And third one, the waveform of a pulse position modulation. Here the position will be changes of the pulses. So that is for today's class. So far we have discussed about the PAM, PWM, and ppm. So in today's class we have seen about the pulse position modulation, generation, and demodulation. In previous classes I have explained you about the pulse amplitude modulation, the definitions, and also generation and demodulations of a PAM and PWM. So in next class, we will see another topic. Thanks for watching.